Jim, Steph, over to
Well,
you.
it is cold outside, which means not only are temperatures going down, but you can expect your spending to go up. That's what they say here. The holiday season comes with some added expenses with buying gifts for everyone.
All right, so there could be another reason we actually spend more during the winter months. Ted Jenkins, CEO of Oxygen Financial and founder of WhatTedSays.com. All right, joins us to talk about this very thing. What did I hear the other day? In terms of credit card debt, where are we, $1 trillion now?
No, it's the worst it's ever been.
It's almost 1.1 trillion
Okay.
now. It's about $7,000
Spend
a
more.
household. Well, people
Our
actually do.
government does,
They,
right?
yeah, they do. They spend more in the wintertime. They do,
Dude
right?
thing to say, like, you don't have to run your heater, you know, that hot. Women love steaming hot showers. I feel like having this discussion, right? We're like,
go ask Jillian what she likes the temperature to be, our producer.
really hot.
She's like, no, she likes it cold.
Oh, she likes it cold? Never mind. I'll say that to the commercial, but never mind.
All right, what about any tax breaks? You know, this is the time of year we start kind of putting things in order to get our taxes done in April. Was there anything we could do there?
I think people really do the hardware store, the home improvement store, and putting down new floors. I'm just not doing it.
Yeah, you can't do it.
That's why you're seeing those stocks that are down right now.
But those could make a comeback then.
Yeah, I
as
think
interest comes down. You think interest rates will come down next year?
I do. I think mid next year you're going to see rates come down. We're going into a political election, so I think you're seeing them come down.
Yeah, but how much is the question, right?
Look, realistically, 3% not happening again. But you know, that 5 to 6%, I think that's going to be the range.
Right.
Yeah,
all
that's
right.
a big improvement from where we are now.
Yeah,
actually.
Not when houses are $2 million starting. It's still rough.
Get what you can afford.
Still
Let's
rough.
start with that.
It's hard out there, Jim. It's hard out there. Ted Jenkins, CEO of Oxygen Financial and founder of WhatTedSays.com.
Thumb wrestle
Thank
for
you
it.
so much.
Anyway, thanks for talking, Ted. Always appreciate it. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
You too.
All right.
Thanks.
All right,
Jordan,
coming up.
or
You want to go Jordan, Steph?
I don't know who's supposed to do it.
We're too wrapped up by Ted. He's too mad.
Welcome in, everybody, to Pattern. This is the first climate change talk show. I'm Jordan Steele.
And I'm Steph Abrams. It's been another productive day at the UN's annual climate summit known as COP28.
Yeah, and now remember, at the end of the conference, participating countries are going to agree to a series of climate-related goals. And that's how we got the Paris Agreement in 2015. It's also how we got last year's Loss and Damage Fund.
So what will this year's deal contain? It's early, but we're already starting to see some of the draft language.
Yeah, and we expect and remember, last year's COP agreement centered around loss and damage, which is the concept of wealthier countries covering the cost of damage from extreme weather events in developing countries.
After much debate, the delegation agreed on a path for payments, but it came without any real framework, and that's already changing at this year's summit.
Yes, and it happened early, the Loss and Damage Fund.
It's nice to see some action finally being taken on that too, by the way. Now, a big misconception about adapting to climate change is that it isn't profitable. But leaders, advocates, and scientists in the trenches of this crisis say that simply isn't true.
Yeah, in fact, we caught up with the renowned explorer Bertrand Piccard. He's in Dubai teaching world leaders how important and profitable modern climate strategies can be.
They're seeing it just so dramatically in, the
polar
Arctic,
regions.
in the polar regions. I think that's why maybe a lot of people are like, it's just happening up there and not to us. But that was cool seeing the methane come out from the permafrost.
I want to see a science with Steph up there.
Okay.
I want you to get your tools, go up there and really report on it. Because, I mean, the question is like, where'd the methane come from? How long has it been trapped, like he was saying? And what is going to happen when it's all released?
And now we can't store any more under there, right? Because we just don't have the same.
Ice is gone.
All right, let's go to Felicia Combs with a look at the weather. Methane, though, is how we all want to start.
I was going to say,
are
if
we
you
saying
need
it wrong?
an assistant, I'd like to volunteer to be your assistant. I bet I could help with some of those science projects. For that, guys. You want the rain when you're talking about drought, but you don't want the flooding potential and the severe storms.
And the wind that's going to come with it. I know you'll talk about that in a little bit, Felicia. Thank you.
Well, buildings, they account for 40%, over 40%, or roughly 40% of our emissions goals. But it doesn't have to.
Well, the neighborhoods we work and live in contribute to our climate crisis, which is why built environment is one of today's themes at COP28. World leaders are looking at how buildings and land use help or hurt our planet.
Yeah, Dr. Angel Shu is the director of Data-Driven Environment Lab and an assistant professor at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, joining us from Dubai to talk to us about that. Really appreciate your time being so far away. I'm sure there's a big time difference there, but we appreciate it. And, I guess let's get to the simple question. Buildings account for what we've talked about, 40% of our global emissions. Why on earth is that? Yeah, let alone maybe doing like little gardens.
And making it look pretty too while you're at it.
Dr. Angel Shu, thank you so much for your time from the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. We really appreciate it.
I like when you can see, you know, a whole building covered in greenery or a rooftop that's green or whatever. I think it looks awesome.
All right, let's get some weather updates here from Felicia. Speaking of green, there's a lot of it coming.
Felicia, thank you.
All right, well, the race is on to save Australia's endangered koalas. We're getting a look.
Welcome back into Pattern. Food waste is a big problem all around the world. Right here in the U.S., 40% of all food ends up in landfills. In addition to that, 25% of our water goes to produce food, I should say, that we actually never eat.
Yes, in California, one organization is on a mission to keep all that food out of landfills by getting it to people in need. So joining us to share more insights on the Food Finders Rescue Program, we want to bring in the Executive Director, Diana Lara, to talk to us about this. Diana, thank you so much for being with us. Food Finders, I guess let's just kind of start from the beginning. How exactly does it work?
So Food Finders.
And I think it's great that you're partnering with these grocery stores too, because we know that food waste is big with the grocery stores. So if they have a place to put it, that's fantastic. Diana, Laura, thank you for your time and the awareness. We appreciate it. The Executive Director of Food Finders in that program in Southern California.
I think even if you don't live in those areas that she was speaking about, maybe this could influence someone to start this type of thing in their area to help people as well.
Yeah. For more stories like this, make sure you guys check out Pattern. You can find us on the Weather Channel app on Roku. You could also find us on those streaming channels listed below.
I love this show. I just love this show.
Yeah,
there's so many people doing so much good in the world, and it really is inspirational. And just, anyhow, I just had to say that. I just love it.
It is
love
nice.
The stories
it's good to see that. It's good to see that.
All right. I also love Felicia. She's one of my girls. She's back.
That was a great transition.
All right, Felicia, thank you. Well, the future of greener urban living is upon us.
Yeah, we're highlighting a one-of-a-kind.
Welcome back, everybody, to Pattern. So today's themes at COP28 include urbanization and transportation. If we want to reduce our emissions, we need to build neighborhoods with the planet in mind.
So how cool would it be if you could walk to everything you need instead of getting in your car, sitting in traffic? That's just one of the problems being tackled at The Line. That's the name of it, a linear smart city under construction in Saudi Arabia. Take a look at all it has to offer. I mean, it looks cool.
It looks cool. It'll be interesting to see if there are other countries that follow suit after they see if this is a success.
My biggest concern are the mirrors on the outside,
well, you're on the
sun
inside,
reflecting it and whatnot. Roads, utilities, and hospitals are already actually under construction. Expected completion date is 2030. I wonder if they're already selling like neighborhoods and what like each neighborhood is going to be.
They pre-sell all
it's going to be like cool, like designer hip neighborhood, and then more like upstairs. Whatever, you know. All
right, let's get a weather update from Felicia, talking about some of the heat we've got here in the lower 48.
Yeah, speaking of a park, you may be visiting the park, which you might.
Excuse my sneezes there.
That's
during
okay. I was going to say bless you, but then I was like, if no one else heard it, they're going to be like, what is she talking about? So bless you.
I don't know. It was pretty loud. Thanks.
All right, here's what's coming up tomorrow on Pattern. We know not everyone is. Food TV's coming up next. Make sure you guys stick around.